Legacy of the Breton, High Isle. High Isle. High Isle. Hyle. Hyle. ZOS just announced what the next year of Elder Scrolls Online is gonna look like, and I am hyped. Pack your armor and get your crafting bag ready, because we've got a whole new zone to pillage. We're taking a little trip to High Isle and the Sisters Archipelago. With a Y, not an I, obviously, because apparently if you spell anything normally in fantasy, Tolkien's ghost will come down and kick your ass. So what exactly is High Isle? It's home to the Bretons for one thing, but it also seems to be the love child of a bunch of hardcore medieval history nerds on the art team. You know that guy, the guy who's really excited to tell you the difference between parapets and crenellation. So yeah, we got castles, we got tourneys, and hell yeah, we got plate armor. So we know what High Isle is, but what about the where? It's an entirely new location we've never been to before, and damn if I'm not psyched to see ZOS flex their creative muscles here. The devs described High Isle as a Mediterranean-like island resort for Tamriel's rich and powerful. But where there's rich and powerful, you know there's always gotta be workers slaving away on the bottom rung. There's some biting social commentary for you. So, High Isles is basically the Tamriel version of the Cayman Islands, as far as I can tell. The islands where, incidentally, I hear Abner Tharn keeps his offshore bank accounts. So, a Daedric story set on a Mediterranean island? Well, thank the three, cause that's not the case. ZOS assured us that this is not just another story about the Daedra. This new content will focus on the history and lore of the Bretons, as well as some political intrigue based around the Three Banners War. The Sisters Archipelago is neutral, so it's the perfect destination for secret peace talks between the three alliances. And while peace talks don't sound like a particularly exciting backdrop for a video game, don't panic, the Ascended Order is here, and if there's one thing they hate, it's bitches talking about peace. Do the Ascended Order want to get rid of all thrones and governments? Naturally. Are they gonna look dope as hell while plunging Tamriel into deeper chaos? You bet your sweet ass they will. Seriously, if these armor sets are not obtainable in-game, I will riot. But wait, it turns out that some of the elite of High Isle are profiteering from the war, and peace would mean some pretty bad quarterly reports. Huh, that actually is some pretty good social commentary. But as was mentioned in the announcement, it's not all subterfuge and political espionage, which is a relief, because let's face it, what would a feudal medieval setting be without some epic high fantasy Arthurian shit? All in all, this really does set the stage for some epic stories to be told throughout 2022. Now, let's talk details. Legacy of the Breton, High Isle will be told through 4 major updates throughout 2022, and as some of you clever geography nerds may have picked up on, an archipelago is an island chain, so there are in fact 4 islands that'll be added throughout the course of the year. Logic would say 1 island per update, but that remains to be seen. Now, besides High Isle, we also got to look at the jungle island of Amenos, a lawless prison island that apparently has no guards, so not much of a prison really if anyone figures out how to build a boat. Amenos sounds insanely cool, though it does raise a lot of questions. I mean, if we just leave these convicts alone for a few hundred years, aren't they basically guaranteed to form their own culture of knocking back Fosters while singing Waltzing Matilda at cricket matches? On the other hand, I suppose it could devolve into a Lord of the Flies situation, so pretty bad either way. Besides new zones, ZOS also announced 2 new companions, Ember and Isabel. Ember is a Khajiit who has been described as morally flexible with a knack for magic, and the Breton Isabel is an aspiring knight who really just wants to do right by players. So when can I get my hands on this sweet new content, Brixel? I hear you ask. Well, Ascending Tides will be the start of High Isle's rollout, coming in March with 2 new dungeons. It should be live in the PTR tomorrow, the 31st of January. The official High Isle release is set for the 6th of June for PC, Mac, and Stadia? Seriously, does anyone even own a Stadia? Anyway, last and current gen consoles get it a bit later on the 21st. Stadia. Now, when pre-purchasing the DLC, you'll receive a Pale Frost Elk mount as well as a Pale Frost Elk fawn pet. Jesus, what has that fawn seen? But lest we forget, ZOS is part of a larger corporation, and corporations are gonna be corporation-y, so you gotta act fast if you want Haunted Bambi, because they're gonna be gone if you don't pre-order before the 4th of April. As far as the remaining cash in your wallet is concerned, High Isle will put you back around 40 euros, which includes the DLC as well as a bunch of cosmetic rewards. The collector's upgrade will cost you 50 euros, but they sweeten the pot with some extra cosmetics. So, now let's talk about the final thing Zos announced, which genuinely made me laugh out loud. Just before the stream started, my script editor, who is incredibly handsome and charming and... Dude, I'm not saying that. Anyway, just before the stream started, he texted me and said, dude, what if they just announce a card game or something? And would you believe it? At first I was honestly like,
is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
But I have to admit, the more they elaborated on the system, the more it piqued my interest. Tales of Tribute is a collectible card game with both a story-focused single-player mode and a ranked competitive mode. They described it as a resource-building game that's all about strategy rather than combat. And this description kind of makes sense when you hear more details. At the beginning of the game, each player picks 2 decks that they've collected, and the 4 total decks are then shuffled together, meaning both players then draw from the same common deck. It's a bit confusing and I'm not quite sure how it'll actually play, but let's just say, you have my attention, Zos. Don't screw it up. As far as I understand, the thought process behind this gameplay system is that new players can't be at a disadvantage against others. So regardless of the amount of cards and decks each player has, you're on a level playing field. So unless I'm not understanding something, it really will come down to strategy and not necessarily the number of hours, money, or crowns you've invested. But yes, there is also that elephant in the room. Corporations are gonna corporation, and there is some serious potential for monetization here. They haven't exactly said how all the cards and decks will be obtainable, but frankly, this system seems ripe for aggressive wallet molestation. I'm pretty sure Zos is waiting on the collective community response before settling on a potential pricing model, so if you care about the future of Tales of Tribute, best get out your pitchforks, head to the forums, and make it clear that we're not lubing up for a few decks of cards. Overall, Legacy of the Breton High Isle looks pretty damn good in my books. We still got a couple months to wait, but this content far exceeds what I expected. A ton of new content, 4 beautiful new zones, new dungeons and trials, and holy shit, those armor sets will look badass on my golden cat daddy. I'm really excited to get my hands on it, and I'm sure you are as well, so drop a subscription if you're interested in more ESO content, because we're going to be talking about High Isle and the Elder Scrolls Online a lot throughout 2022.